So I suffer in plural marriage, sacrificing, sacrificing, sacrificing. It ain't all beer and Skittles. For you to finally like that other woman enough to be her friend when I'm dead?
The number of Kody's marital pursuits is simply astonishing. He's been linked to various women over the years, including one before Janelle, a teenager, another before Robin, and possibly another post Christine, according to some reports. The situation is disturbing, especially considering his lackluster performance as both a husband and a father. Despite this, historically he seemed intermittently intent on adding to his marital roster. According to Kody, at least two of these women might be the same individual. He professed love for a woman prior to Christine, whom Christine refused to accept into the family. After marrying Christine, this woman purportedly returned, still eager to join, but was again rejected. Interestingly, their book suggests a completely different narrative, with this woman being the one to end the engagement to Kody, which is totally contrary to Kody's portrayal of the sequence of events. As usual, who else can we expect but Kody to be rewriting history by proclaiming that his fantasies of women pining after him like little excited drooling licking doggies is a fact and not just a figment of Kody's hyperactive imagination. His continuous jabs at Christine only add to audience dismay over Kody's extremely poor behavior. As soon as Christine learned about Kody's extreme interest in an underage girl child, she had immediately made the resolve to come to terms with the likelihood of never ever marrying him. She firmly set her foot down on this behavior as a deal breaker for her. Then, rumor had it that Kody was no longer pursuing this teenage minor. And lo and behold, unexpectedly out of the blue, Kody reaches out to Christine to vent about issues with Janelle, a person and a name Christine had never ever heard about before. Who's Janelle? And this is how Christine learns Kody married Janelle in the interim and is busy bitching about her now. This is in line with the pattern we have noticed as audiences, with Kody having consistently been the one to stir trouble and voice grievances about the OG3 wives, instigating these ladies against one another right from the start. Indeed, he's been instrumental in fostering strife among his original three wives with his critical and underhanded remarks, only to feign surprise when none of them agree to go along perfectly with his lies and exaggerated fake stories. It was Robin who mentioned that Kody isn't easily swayed by a wife, yet he seemingly missed out on a potential relationship because Christine objected to it. His actions almost always seem to be in contradiction with what he himself says, as well as what his partner in crime Robin says, only adding to the already high levels of audience exasperation. It appears the narrative they concocted with Robin's support about Christine obstructing Kody's reconciliation with Mary in Flagstaff has been quietly abandoned. It's a point that really should be revisited and scrutinized. Instead, the focus shifted to Kody's claims of never truly caring for Mary and his reasoning for introducing Janelle into the mix, seemingly to distance himself from Mary. It is as though he crafted a reality of his own. Several factors might be driving his behavior. Ego. He possibly believes having multiple wives enhances his image. The show. The presence of multiple wives likely secures his spot on the show, which is crucial for his income. Financial incentives. With each wife, the potential for income from the show increases. However, and now that the original three wives have left, his earnings from TLC have significantly diminished. Religious beliefs. If he still adheres to the tenets of his faith, having more wives might be seen as a way to elevate his status in the afterlife. Do you reckon Robin is contributing her share? She seems to have a penchant for shopping. Apparently, Kody receives her portion, but she's the one guiding their shopping trips, ensuring he foots the bill for her purchases. With the kids at school, they seemingly have the entire day to indulge in shopping and dining out. The consensus seems to be that Kody isn't much for sharing or indulging. Reflecting on the situation, Kody ought to be immensely thankful that one of his wives vetoed the idea of adding another woman to the mix before Robin's arrival. They were barely afloat financially, grappling with bankruptcy and food stamps. The family was hardly in a position to welcome another spouse and add additional children. The implications of integrating Robin into the family without the financial cushion the show provided are daunting to consider. Housing her and her children in the already cramped Lehigh home would have been a logistical nightmare. Her expectations might have been unmet, potentially leading to a tense living situation. Then the question arises, would Kody have continued seeking more wives, further straining the family dynamics and resources? At some point, one would hope the community would intervene in Kody's reckless disregard for the welfare of his wives and children. It's questionable whether Robin would have joined the family had the show not been a factor. Similarly, Robin's willingness to marry Kody might have been influenced by the show's presence. Kody embraced fundamentalism primarily to practice plural marriage, yet he consistently complains about its intricacies. He claimed necessity in marrying Janelle and Christine upon their request. Janelle mentioned that their faith dictates a man should not actively seek additional partners after his first marriage. Instead, subsequent unions should occur when a woman feels spiritually called to join a particular family. This raises the question of whether a man has the autonomy to decline such proposals. Additionally, a husband must obtain consent from his existing wives before introducing another. The faith's structure seemingly allows wives to leave the marriage, but not the husbands without facing significant blame, punishment, or spiritual repercussions. Kody's constant gripes and his decision to join this faith, despite seemingly opposing its rules, are perplexing, to say the least. It appears his fear isn't for the eternal fate of his wives, but rather how the community views him. And what about the fact that he was not supposed to pursue women, yet he pursued Robin despite being already married, which is against his religion? When Robin was being proposed by various other options, he pursued Robin. I'm completely confused at this stage. There's a recurring chatter about Kody's past romantic interest being distinct from the one mentioned in their book, perhaps the teenager. Initially, I too believed they were separate individuals, but upon revisiting the footage, it seems they're the same person. The puzzling part was Kody's claim that Christine halted the relationship initially. It's perplexing how she could exert such influence even before becoming his wife. My confusion was further fueled by Christine's revealing interview where she mentioned multiple women being courted before Robin. Deciphering the truth behind these stories is exasperating. It feels like piecing together a complex puzzle, consulting various books, interviews, and articles to grasp for reality. It's quite a frustrating endeavor. The discrepancy lies in the book's suggestion of a pre-Christine romance, while the show implies it occurred after Christine's marriage. It's possible both accounts hold truth. They may have considered a younger woman before Janelle and Christine's arrival. Years later, as they contemplated adding a fourth wife before Robin, one candidate might have been the previously mentioned teenager, now of legal age. Their explanations, however, tend to raise more questions than answers. Picturing that teenager observing the show elicits quite the image. She suddenly avoided a complex situation. The dubious claim seems to be that this woman actively sought to join the family, a narrative Kody crafted, placing blame on Christine for the woman's non-inclusion. One of the show's greatest deceptions was portraying the Browns as a typical family and their polygamous setup as just an expanded version of a conventional marriage. Clearly, the portrayal isn't accurate. Their unions weren't traditional marriages, but rather conformed to the AUB's unique interpretation where emotional and physical intimacy aren't prerequisites. It seems more a mechanism to quickly unite young individuals and encourage a rapid expansion of their families. This lifestyle isn't reflective of mainstream society. Yet, some jest that Kody doesn't actively seek out new partners. Instead, women are irresistibly drawn to him, and he's simply too kind to reject them. Oh, Cody, you're so benevolent. The irony isn't lost that women seem magnetized by his court charm. Amidst this, Cody struggles with consistency in his narratives. He claims Christine issued an ultimatum before their marriage, leading him to end a prior relationship, only to later consider or reconsider that relationship. However, he also professed an initial reluctance to marry Christine. This contradiction begs for clarity. Why abandon a relationship with someone he claimed to love for a marriage he didn't even desire at all? Decisiveness seems elusive for him. Anyway, that's all from me today, y'all. Talk to y'all at another time on another video. Peace out.